Prospecting and making your calls can be one of the most impactful things you can do for your real estate business. But I get it. It's tough to actually sit there and make the calls on a consistent basis so you can start getting those results that you want. So in this video, I'm going to go over 7 things that you can do to get over your fear of prospecting and cold calling and being on the phones. So let's dive right into it. My name is Chris with New Agent Headquarters. On this channel, we give you all the tools, resources, and knowledge you need to become successful as a new agent. Oh, and one thing before we dive into the video, I do want to offer you our script book. This is a script book that our own real estate team uses. Inside, you'll find a ton of scripts and things to say when you're actually prospecting. I know that's one of the biggest things that agents get caught up on is they just don't know what to say when they make the calls. So this is the exact script book that I use and my real estate team uses to go out there and set listing appointments. So be sure to grab your copy of that. There's a link down in the description below where you can grab it. And if you enjoyed it, definitely drop a comment because I want to hear from you. So let's have a chat about prospecting. Picking up the phone and making calls on a consistent basis can be overwhelming. In fact, many agents get anxiety over it and they just don't do it at all because it's just such a hard thing to put themselves through. And then you have the other group of agents who try it and then they quit, then they try it, then they quit, and they're just not consistent. And because of that, they just don't see the results. And the reason they don't see the results is because 1, they're not consistent. 2, they're not making the follow-up calls to those leads they called initially because they just start and then they quit, then they start, then they quit. And even worse, because they're not consistent, they don't have the skills because they're not building skills every day. They're starting and then stopping, then starting, then stopping. It's almost like the person that goes to the gym and starts and gets really excited. They start seeing some progress and then they quit for a month or 2. And then they start again and they start seeing some progress and they quit for a month or 2. And what happens is these people don't end up getting anywhere because they're just spinning their wheels. They make a little progress and then they go back to where they were. Then they make a little progress and they go back to where they were. In this video, I want to get you over the fear of the phone so that doesn't happen to you and so that you can start making the prospecting calls today that you want to make so you can start getting those listings and becoming more profitable in your business. So the first tip I want to give you is getting to the root of your actual fear. You have to ask yourself, what is the reason you're afraid to make these calls? Is it because you're afraid of rejection? Are you afraid of the unknown? Are you afraid of looking stupid? Are you afraid that the people on the phone are going to think that you're stupid or you're going to feel judged by other people by doing this? Like, get to the root of the actual fear, right? And this can be done by just writing it down. Take a notepad out, write down your concerns, write down the real reason that you don't want to prospect. What's the truth behind it? And have that real conversation with yourself. By identifying this true cause, you're able to work on the mindset shift that's going to help you overcome it. Fear is often learned, and with enough practice, you can overcome it. Rather than spending time fixating on what can go wrong, focus on what can go right and focus on that present moment. And when that fear finally does creep back in, just look at yourself and be like, hey, I'm going to handle whatever comes at me. If I feel anxious, I'm going to handle it. If I get rejected, I'm going to handle it. And by going through that process in your head, it can help push you through a lot of those core fears that are holding you back from making the calls you want to make. Step number 2 is shifting from fear to empowerment. At the end of the day, it's not the fear itself that's going to hold you back. It's how you actually respond to it. Fear can either paralyze you or it can fuel you and push you forward. You can take total control of the situation just by how you view it. When you shift from feeling powerless to empowered, your entire view of prospecting can change. Just ask yourself, is the fear that you're having really as bad as you're making it out to be in your head? Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Chances are, when you actually break it down, your fear might not even be as significant as it seems. And a lot of this stuff you can be putting in your head really might not happen at all, or you may be taking something that's really minor and turning it into something major. And that's because you're having a lot of stress response and a lot of anxiety to what you're about to do. Once you start viewing your fear as a challenge to overcome and not something to avoid, you're going to start seeing a lot more success in your real estate business. Number 3, let your financial goals motivate you. Now, money might not be the sole purpose that you're in real estate for, but at the end of the day, this is a business and you do need to make money to be able to pay your bills. And if you don't do that, then there's a lot of stress and fear that also comes with that. Think about it. If you're not able to pay your mortgage, if you're not able to do the things you want to do in life, if you're not able to pay your car payment, think about all the negative things that can happen if you don't make the money you want to make. And if you're more motivated by positivity, then look at all the things that you could be missing out on. Think about the vacations and the time you could be spending on vacation and all the things you could be experiencing if you got your income to the level that you wanted it to be. So use your financial goals as a way to push you forward when you're experiencing fear, when you're experiencing those times when you don't want to get on the phone. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there at times where I'm like, hey, I don't want to do this today. I'm not interested in this today. I don't want to get on the phone. Maybe the day before that, I got yelled at by a bunch of people or nobody answered the phone and I just wasted 3 hours of my time. Some days I don't want to do it. But if you sit yourself in the chair and commit to a time block of 2 to 3 hours a day, you're going to start seeing results and you're going to be happy that you did it. Before you sit in that chair, visualize yourself closing more deals, having more success, and pushing towards that income that you want to get. And this will help you push because it's not a negative thing, it's a positive thing, because when you sit in that chair, the more time you have in the seat, the closer you're getting to your actual goals because your sales skills are increasing, your dials are increasing, your pipeline's filling up, all these positive things are happening. And every time that you avoid it and you go somewhere else or do something else and you do that call avoidance thing that a lot of agents do, you're pushing yourself away from your financial goals. And that's not what you want to do as an agent. Step number 4 is visualizing your actual success. If you sit in this chair and you make the dials every day, what's going to happen? What result are you pushing towards? Do you want to be a top producer? Do you want to make a 6-figure income? Do you want to invest in a lot of apartment complexes, or do you want to invest in businesses, or what do you want to actually do? What happens if you sit in the chair every day, become skilled at sales, make the calls, get the listings, and build a big pipeline? What's the goal? And that's the question you got to ask yourself. Because if you sit down in this chair every day and you're pushing yourself towards a goal, things are going to change. But if you sit in this chair every day and you're aimless and you're purposeless and you have no direction, when it gets hard, you're not going to want to do it. And you're just going to quit because it's easy to quit because the phone, to be honest, it's not always easy, right? There's a lot of rejection involved. And that's why a lot of agents don't want to do it. But 87% of agents, according to statistics, fail out of the industry. And if you want to avoid being that 87%, you have to do what's uncomfortable and start pushing yourself towards those goals. So envision what your life will look like if you actually become a top producer, if you actually start selling the amount of homes that you want to sell. And when you sit in the chair, you can picture that. And when things get tough, you're like, hey, look, this is just part of the process. I'm going towards my goals. This doesn't matter. This is short term. I'm going towards my big goals. Number 5, you want to create a productive environment. Okay? This is very important because a lot of agents, they'll try to prospect and they have a million things going on, a million distractions, maybe the TV's blaring, all kinds of stuff. And it just puts you in a predicament where you're not focused, you're not going through the leads at the rate that you should be, and it just doesn't make any sense. On top of that, it's important to set up a workstation that is peaceful, calming, relaxing, a place you want to actually go to every day. And make sure you set up your war room per se, right? You want to have your scripts up. You want to have your objection handlers up. You want to put them on the wall or at your desk so you can see all this stuff. And one cool thing you can do with this booklet is it's a PDF download. So you can download it, take all the pages, they're all labeled. So like this is a for sale by owner script. There's expired scripts, there's circle prospecting scripts. And you can take each page and you can put it on the wall and you can read them all as you go through them instead of having to flip through it. Now, we use it as a booklet. I like using it as a booklet. I find it easier for me. But a lot of people like to put it on a wall in front of them so they have it right there so they can read it while they're on the phone. So be sure to build an environment that you want to work at and you want to plug in and prospect in on a daily basis. Number 6 is practicing your scripts and practice your role plays. Now, there's no better way to get good at sales and get good on the phone than practice. It's like any athlete, right? Anybody that's good at what they do, they practice. Think about your favorite basketball player, your favorite football player, your favorite UFC fighter. They practice. They spend countless hours practicing their craft. And that goes for anything. It's not just sports. It's airline pilots. It's lawyers. It's doctors. It's all these people that put hours and time into their profession and their craft. And if you don't do that, you're not going to be good at it. No matter what you do, you're not going to be good at it. I promise you're not going to be good at it. You're going to think you're good at it because you don't do it. And then when you start doing it, you're going to get humbled. And then when you get humbled, you're going to run away from it. And then you're going to stop and you're going to be in the same predicament that you've been in for the longest period of time. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to push through this, become skilled at sales, and start getting the listings that you want. So find a role play partner in your office, or find somebody in one of the Facebook groups online that have a bunch of real estate agents. Look for a prospecting partner. Look for somebody that you can practice role play with. Make sure you put the time in, because when you get objections and you have a great client in front of you and you're trying to win them over, you want to make sure that you have the skill set and you have the reps in so you're able to get that client. Because at the end of the day, this is real estate, and every client is a big deal, and every paycheck is a big deal. So you want to make sure that you're ready to be able to get as many of those as you possibly can and get through as many objections as you can. Number 7 is embracing discomfort. At the end of the day, I'm going to be real with you, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Prospecting is not fun. Nobody likes that. I don't even like it. And I've been doing it for years, right? I don't like prospecting. I'm very introverted. And when I first started, I didn't even have any money to invest in leads. So I was out knocking on doors in the heat with a suit on, and I felt like a complete goofball, right? I left my corporate job. Everybody said I was crazy. I didn't want to go back to a corporate job. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I'm just walking around neighborhoods in the summer, knocking on doors with no paycheck, no nothing coming in, and just trying to push through this. And I'm very introverted, right? This isn't my thing. But I pushed myself through it because I know what was on the other side of that. Now I've been able to work my way through it. I built an entire real estate team, and things have worked out really well. But it all started with a lot of discomfort and a lot of things that I didn't want to be doing. But if you have a main goal and a main mission, then you can push through that. And the best part about it is, in the process, you're going to learn a lot of skills, a lot of valuable things. And in that process, you're going to become a super skilled person. So that's why I love it. Embrace the fear, embrace the tough stuff, and you have to get uncomfortable to actually get comfortable. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I want to teach agents, is that fear is okay, discomfort is okay, and everybody goes through it. That's how I started. I didn't want to do this. So if you feel that same way and you're like, hey, I don't know where my next deal is coming from, or hey, I don't want to get on the phone because I'm afraid, or hey, I don't necessarily want to prospect, or I feel afraid of prospecting. Well, it's a normal feeling. Everybody goes through that. And I hope this video helps you, and I hope it gets you through it, because at the end of the day, it is a great way to build your pipeline, build your business, and get to where you want to be in real estate. So I hope this video helped you out. If it did, drop a comment in the comment section below, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again. Thanks for tuning in to New Agent HQ. On this channel, we try to give you all the resources to be confident and successful as a new agent from day one. If you like this kind of content, smash the like button and subscribe, and be sure to check out this video here. I think you'll enjoy it.